Don't Worry, We're Awesome presents Ranking the MCU. Too Long Didn't Watch edition. Number 12, Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is nothing but a setup for the Avengers. Literally. It's not a movie, because it really isn't. It rehashed everything from Iron Man 1 and said, well, you know what? We don't really got a story here, so why don't we just boost it up with Avengers stuff? Like, literally, the whole ending, the third act is Nick Fury. They beat Whiplash, and then Nick Fury, and then they talk about the Avengers, and that's it.
Number 11, Thor, The Dark World.
My biggest problem with Thor: The Dark World is that a lot of the side characters are annoying as hell.
Oh, I'll give you Kat Dennings especially.
Oh, Kat Dennings, the intern, Dr. Eric Selvig, who was, like an intellectual in the first film, and the Avengers. And this one, he's a babbling idiot in his underwear for most of the film.
Right.
Stellan Skarsgård's a good actor. He knows how to act.
Yeah, he does.
He's nothing but terrible things to do in this film.
Natalie Portman sucks.
Natalie Portman phoned this film in 100%.
So hard.
You could tell she did not want to be in here. And this is true because she's in no other films after this.
Yeah, and she won't be in the third one either.
No, she won't.
And there is probably, I would say, one scene in particular that put Thor 2 above Iron Man 2. And that is the Idris Elba taking out a fucking ship scene.
That is badass.
That is so badass. And that alone actually put it above Iron Man 2 for me, which didn't have that moment for me.
Loki makes any movie that much better. He is the best part of the MCU for a lot of it, like most of it.
He's the only good villain they have.
Number 10, Iron Man 3.
I will say, when I saw this film, I thought it was a bunch of set pieces, just kind of it's like they had the set pieces first. Like, we have a cool idea with we'll rescue the president, and everyone's falling out of a plane. We'll get
awesome.
Iron Man to save. That was a great scene.
That's why, for me, that's why it's not at 11.
And the movie is very funny. I will give it that. It's one of the funniest Marvel films.
I love Shane Black. I was so happy when he was cast the director about it. From the very first scene, when, Eiffel 65 is playing in the background in the 90s things, he does inject a lot of humor in it. But it was just the fact that the twist of the film was so disappointing and so mishandled. If it was reversed, like Guy Pearce was the villain, but he was then being manhandled by the Mandarin, that would have been fine, because the Mandarin's scary. No one was scared of Guy Pearce.
But when that moment comes, he's like, you want the Mandarin? I'm the Mandarin! And I was like, no, you're not! Number
9, Thor.
I think Thor is just one of those characters that doesn't really mean much. He's not very interesting. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, they do the whole movie is him going to Earth, trying to figure out how to, with the coffee, and he breaks it in, I'll have another, which I could do right now, sure. but it's just really, it's just really dumb. I mean, it's the kind of movie that you've seen all the time, where somebody comes in from another world and is experiencing all different things, and that's basically the majority of the movie. And he throws tantrum fits all the time with his dad, I'm supposed to.
So you're saying that Coming to America did it better?
Yes.
Number 8, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
The wow factor is gone, and the story's a bit of a mess. Quicksilver, we saw him done better in X-Men: Days of Future Past, which nobody expected, but he actually ended up being the best part of the movie.
The worst looking Quicksilver ended up being the best.
Exactly, and the worst part of Age of Ultron for me was basically Quicksilver. I thought he was really pointless.
One thing I will give to Age of Ultron's credit is that Hawkeye, who wasn't given much of anything to do in the first movie, was given a lot of backstory and a lot of character in this film.
And I think that Jeremy Renner did it great.
Yeah, he did. So much so that I was 100% convinced he was going to die in the film. And they killed Quicksilver
instead. Which
makes sense.
It made sense because it was good that they killed him because he wasn't that great.
Number 7, The Incredible Hulk.
I want to talk about The Incredible Hulk. I really like Emil Blonsky. I like Tim Roth as a character. I liked Edward Norton as Bruce Banner.
He was good,
I liked his Hulk. There were some pretty intense fight scenes. The campus fight scene was great. I liked the Super Soldier Serum. I did not care for Liv Tyler as Betty Ross.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. It being charming.
Betsy Ross,
there were moments that were there. I just think Liv Tyler is just kind of like a blank slate.
I don't think she's a bad actress.
I think she's an okay actress, but I don't feel those emotional moments. The one scene when they were in the motel room and they're getting a little romantic, I got.
It was cool.
But other stuff is a little.
Number 6, Captain America, the First Avenger.
There's a moment in Captain America where before he's going to take on the super soldier serum, he goes, "We tried it once before, it didn't work out. What that guy lacked was what you have plenty of, and that's you being a good man."
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of those moments. The music cue at that time and that dialogue is beautiful, and it's one of the reasons why it's a little higher on my list.
Yeah, but you see, that's I think that's what I have issue with, like this idea of what a good man is, what is good. It's just so, it's too easy, too simple, and it doesn't really work with the world then. It doesn't work with the world now.
Number 5, AntMan.
Michael Pena literally steals
He
every
does.
single scene.
I wrote down in my notes, it's the Michael Pena show.
Yeah.
He is absolutely hilarious. Such great comedic timing. He's got the one-punch knockout as well, which might be something we'll see later in films. I don't know. Maybe. But he's absolutely hilarious. His there was this rosé that saved the day. His wife is like, oh, I'm more of a neo-Cubist kind of guy, but
His storytelling is absolutely phenomenal.
on point.
And I think that a lot of the Edgar Wright still shows in that film, and that's always welcomed because I think Edgar Wright is like a master filmmaker. And I think that everything that Adam McKay and Paul Rudd added to the script was good.
Yeah.
I think that it really blended together the two styles, and I think that Paul Rudd was awesome as Ant-Man. Michael Douglas was phenomenal in this film.
He really had fun in this film.
Yes,
it
he
shows.
did.
Number 4, The Avengers.
Avengers, I will never forget that summer when the Avengers came out, and how all of us got together and we binged it, me, you, and it was one of those moments where we sat in the theater and this happened, like that moment happened. The scene especially when they come together to fight the Chitauri, and they does that iconic shot now where all of them. I'll never forget that moment in the theater. It brought those moments that I will never forget, and that I will never forget with friends as well, because it was a moment where the theater lived that together, and that we were all happy and cheering and seeing some of our favorite comic book characters come to life and fighting together. That's why I think Avengers is what we have never seen before finally coming.
I almost cried.
Thank you.
There's a lot of amazing things that the Avengers did. I thought that Joss Whedon did a great job with bringing everybody together. That fight scene where it seemed like it was the long take where it followed one person to the next was spectacular. I just think that the 3 films above it did it better. Right.
Number 3, Iron Man.
So when Iron Man came out, it was I had a lot of fun with it, but I just don't like the politics of Tony Stark. That's really all it boils down to for me.
Okay.
I really hate Tony Stark as a human being.
This fucking guy.
I know. I just don't like him. There's nothing I can do about it. Like he represents everything that sucks with America, and basically they make it.
I have Ant-Man.
And they make and they actually, like, the way they make him so charming, you end up loving him even though he's basically a piece of shit.
This is where we started. This is the beginning of it all, and it was something. When we get that teaser with Nick Fury at the end, we didn't know what was coming.
No.
Like, we didn't realize it when he comes out as Nick Fury, Sam Jackson. I can remember being when I was there at the theater. I was like, whoa, this is a big world we're going to enter right now. Nick Fury is the glue that binds it. And I think Iron Man, that's the reason why it's so much higher, is because it's what started all. The humor is great. Jon Favreau's a great director. He continues again with Jungle Book. Go see it. It's Chef. It's just great writing. Robert Downey kills it. He just doesn't do wrong.
He is Iron Man.
He is Iron Man at this point, right?
Yeah.
And
They're even tailoring the comic books.
they really are. Yeah.
Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy.
This was my fucking movie. Like, I went in there, it had everything that I was gonna like. I love James Gunn. The cinematography behind that film was fucking fantastic.
Stepped
like,
it up.
it was like straight out of fucking comic books. Like the still slow motion stuff with Star-Lord when he's like jumping over rocks, when he's flying back to the ship, the Reaper. And everything was perfect note. The humor was there. Every single person in that movie was fantastic. Glenn Close out of fucking nowhere.
Hold on. We forgot to mention one thing, I think. the greatest soundtrack in any Marvel.
Fuck yeah!
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, were you? I'm sorry.
That's what I was
man.
gonna
I didn't
say.
know you were gonna say that.
They take such a chance with that soundtrack, basically.
I know.
They revitalized the 14 songs on that
exactly. I was listening to it on my way driving here from Connecticut. I listened to the entire soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack.
It rivals Dazed and Confused for one of the best.
No, seriously.
One of the best non-original scores for soundtracks of all time.
And number 1, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Holy shit, it's amazing! From the first time I saw the Winter Soldier, I absolutely loved it. From the first scene, the fight scene first fight scene, I should say, on the boat, on the ship, when they're, it's just, you felt every punch. Everything was so well choreographed. It was such a great fight scene. The fight scene between him and George St. Pierre, you felt everything. It was so visceral, and I could not believe we got such good direction out of the Russos, who were, before this, untested television directors.
I will say that I felt more from George St. Pierre than I have in his last 5 fights in the UFC in this movie.
First of all, he's wearing the muted color suit, the shield outfit. The shield itself doesn't have the red, white, and blue. It's all colored out. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is Captain America as a spy, and it works. It's scary. If that guy was on a ship and you were on the other side, you would be shitting yourself.
No.
When he kicks the guy off the boat, pretty much like he stabs the guy in the hand with his knife.
You have to stop him from going the
alarm. I think the characters work. I think this is probably the most intimate story out of the MCU. Mm-hmm. The themes that they set up about you need to be careful about who you trust. Our government, not to get political because I'm not, but
it's very relevant.
It's relevant to today's. It's Nick Fury was great in this. I love one of the problems I had with Avengers was Captain America's suit in that one. I think it looked very costumey. It didn't look like an actual suit. I love when he went back to the museum and got the original suit.
One, yeah.
I was like, thank God that happened because that was amazing. The scenes with Falcon, I'm so glad they set up that relationship because it's really the true core of the Bucky relationship.
He needed a new friendship.
Right.
Thank you
very much for watching and listening to all of us. If you like this, please feel free to subscribe below. It was great having you, great having us. This was a lot of fun, and I hope to do it again soon. Have fun at Civil War. Hopefully, we'll be doing a review of that soon. I'm very excited for that because if it's anything,
we will.
If it's anything like the Winter Soldier, I'm already going to be impressed. And the reviews so far have been stellar.
Thank you for watching. Don't worry, we're awesome.
We really are.
Anything else that we want to touch up on? Any closing comments?
Iron Man sucks.
Shut the hell up.